series with the movies. And so I must have watched, I still watch them. I still watch silent movies to get plot ideas and to see how the intertitle cards are set up and what sort of things they say, what people wear and who the actors are. I bet I've seen 100 of them. But the big idea that I got from watching is I should set up my book like a silent movie. And I even use intertitle cards instead of chapter headings. And
I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good.
I really enjoyed doing that. But, that was a lot of work
I bet it was.
because I wanted them to be really like those title cards and also say something about what was going to happen in the chapter. And that took me a while after I got the story written to know exactly where I was going to put my title cards and what they were going to say. But that was fun, too. And that gave a certain je ne sais quoi to the book, too, I thought.
It did.
Yeah.
In an article, you stated your favorite historical period was the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Would you consider writing a mystery set in that era?
If I could think of something that hadn't already been done better than I could do, yes, I'd love that. I love to go there. I love to go to Italy and go to Pompeii and all that sort of stuff. And I know a great deal about the early Empire era and end of the Republic era. And I've read many, many books. You all know Lindsay Davis's series with Falco. I love those. And I read all of Colleen McCullough's books about the Roman Empire. And if I could come up with something really good, yes, I would love to do it. Mm-hmm. But thus far, I need to come up with something that hasn't been already done better than I could do.
So when does the next Bianca book come out?
I don't know yet. It's not finished yet.
Okay.
I don't have a title yet. As a matter of fact, The Wrong Girl, the publishers chose that title. That's something that was taken from what one of the characters said about her. They were talking to the villain, and he likes to seduce young ladies, young women. Someone says to him, "Is one of these days you're going to choose the wrong girl." And he did.
So do you have any other books or events you would like our listeners to know about?
I did a lot of traveling and events and everything when The Wrong Girl first came out. Right now, I'm quite involved in trying to get this second one done, which we hope will be out in this coming fall. The next big event, I'm going to be at Left Coast Crime in San Diego, March 12th to the 15th. I'll be there. That's one of the biggest crime reader and writer conferences in the nation. It moves. It's always on the left coast, somewhere on the western United States, and sometimes in Bristol, England, on their left coast. But it moves every year, and this year it's going to be in San Diego, which is not terribly far from me, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to be on the 13th of March, and I'm going to be on a panel called Hooray for Hollywood, Tinseltown, as a setting for novels, and it's going to be me and 3 other mystery writers who set our books in Hollywood. That should be fun.
Well, Donis, can you let our listeners know your website?
Yes, absolutely. My website is, of course, it's DonisCasey.com, and that's DONISCASEY.com. Website was just redone for me by my brother, who is a webmaster, and he created a whole new deco look for me for this new series.
Oh, wow.
And you can go to the website and read the first chapter of any of my books.
And find really good recipes.
Oh, yes, indeed. That's because in that first series, I had written about 10 pages of the first book when I realized there was going to be lots and lots of writing about food, because any woman who has 10 children and lives on a farm is just continually thinking about what's for dinner. Yeah. And suddenly I realized, too, that kind of cooking, people don't do that anymore. People don't cook like that anymore. I always included recipes, old-fashioned country recipes at the end of the Alifair Tucker books. And I was going to try and do something like that for this new series, but she doesn't cook. So she has somebody cook for her. So I thought about doing cocktails, but I thought, no. I think someone else does that.
Well, we will update our show notes with your contact information. So if anybody'd like to find you, they'll be able to do so.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Well, Donis, we really enjoyed this, and we absolutely enjoyed The Wrong Girl. Keep it up and keep us in the loop of when the next book comes out so we can read it, of course, and promote it on our show.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. This was a fun book. I enjoyed this a lot.
It was different in the fact that you learned more about her life than the actual mystery, but you can see where it's leading. Like this series
It's set up the new series.
Yes. It was an enjoyable read. It was a mystery, but it was a Hollywood era tale.
And I like how she interjects some real characters into the story that we're all familiar with.
Yes, when she was researching her family genealogy, she found all these characters. She said she had enough to write 10 books with all the cowboys and actresses and runaways that she had in her family. She's got a lot of material to work with.
Well, also the silent film actors and actresses. They were true to life, and there's all kinds of backstories for them as well.
Absolutely. And you couldn't help but root for Blanche, Bianca. You just felt so bad for her in the beginning of how she ended up getting discovered. And then you were like, yes, she's going to make it.
The whole story was just very enjoyable.
And realized that there was a true storm that inspired the discovery of the murdered victim.
And this is a very short read. It's
256 pages.
Yeah, it's a very quick read, but she packs a lot in those small amount of pages.
I recommend this book for anybody who enjoys the golden age of Hollywood. The
golden age of Hollywood and a historical mystery. It's not your Victorian age or anything like that. The 1920s was a long time ago.
Well, it's a period in time that isn't written about often. It's unique.
That's true.
And I think Donis has a lot to work with as far as the industry goes. He's right. There was a lot of nefarious things going on back then. And
studios were very good at hiding things that are coming out today a lot more with the computer age.
Well, a lot of the deaths and so forth are still unsolved.
Oh, yes. William Desmond Taylor, they've never solved that case. That's always the one they bring up when they have the unsolved Hollywood murders. There was the movie star Thelma Todd. She was a 20.
So it's very interesting to see what Donis does with the future of the series, and I look forward to definitely reading on, seeing what Bianca has in store for us, and how Detective Oliver is portrayed in the future books.
Well, next we have our up-and-coming books.
The first book we're going to highlight is Things in Jars by Jess Kidd. It is published by Atria Books. The publishing date was February 4th. In the dark underbelly of Victorian London, a formidable female sleuth is pulled into a macabre world of fanatical anatomists and crooked surgeons while investigating the kidnapping of an extraordinary child in this Gothic mystery. Sounds good.
Next up is The Other Misses by Mary Kubica. That came out February 18th, put out by Park Row Publishing. It is propulsive and addictive and perfect for fans of You. The Other Misses is the twisty new psychological thriller from Mary Kubica, the New York Times best-selling author of The Good Girl.
We also have The King's Justice by Susan Elia McNeil. It is number 9 in her Maggie Hope mystery series. It's put out by Bantam Book. It comes out February 20th. Can a stolen violin lead secret agent and spy Maggie Hope to a new serial killer terrorizing London? Find out as the acclaimed World War II mystery series. Be sure and check your library or your independent bookstore. Look for these books.
Now, trivia.
What
was the name of G.K. Chesterton's priest detective? A. Father Brown, B. Father Green, C. Father Black, or D. Father White? And the answer is A. Father Brown.
This week's question: what former journalist, stockbroker, and naval officer created James Bond? A. Ian Fleming, B. Admiral Byrd, C. Clark Hill, or D. James Dell. Good luck.
Come back next week for the answer.
Well, one of the things we need to mention, we have a group on Goodreads. Our group is growing. It was a Dark and Stormy book club. All our episodes and show notes are on that site. Check us out at Goodreads.
Well, we have Goodreads. We're on Twitter. We have a Facebook page. Of course, you can always go to our website at www.itwasadarkandstormybookclub.com. That gives access to everything. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can find our email and send us any kind of email you feel like. Put in your input. Tell us about new books coming out. Tell us your favorite authors. Whatever comes to mind. You can also send in a short story for our newsletter.
We have started to receive quite a few, and we are enjoying them immensely.
Send them to our email, darkandstormybookclub@gmail.com, and be sure and put short story submission in the title line so we will know that's what it is.
And don't forget, you can always donate on Patreon.
We stay connected with them.
And we have some really cool incentives as well. So check it out.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you for listening. We hope you'll join us next time. And remember,
life would be boring without a little mystery.
Bye.